Most of us spend our lives looking outward. We stare up into the night sky, charting billions of distant galaxies, trying to find some kind of meaning in the vastness of space, and usually feeling incredibly small and separate from reality in the process. Around the 12th century, Indian mystics proposed a radically different model of existence. They argued we had the search exactly backwards. The universe isn't out there. Your physical body is a perfect miniature replica of the entire cosmos, a concept they called Pindanda reflecting Brahmanda. For centuries, Orthodox Vedic religion relied heavily on external fire sacrifices to connect with the divine. You gathered physical materials, built an altar, and offered them up. These medieval thinkers internalized those rituals, engineering a highly advanced science of human psychology. They moved away from the extreme physical effort required by early Hatha Yoga. Instead of sweating to twist the body into complex, gravity-defying postures, they focused entirely on a new technology of internal, contemplative worship. They realized that true spiritual realization does not require forcing the physical body or the external world into submission. Rather, it requires surveying and mapping your own internal architecture. Their discoveries were recorded in a brief, dense Sanskrit text known as the Bhavana Upanishad. It serves as an architectural manual for exploring this internal space through bhavana, the practice of highly structured, creative visualization. This complex pattern is the Sri Chakra. The Upanishad treats it as an exact geometric blueprint of reality. It explicitly maps your anatomical features, like the 9 orifices, tissue layers, and nervous channels, directly onto the 9 geometric enclosures of this yantra. By reading this sacred geometry, a practitioner gains a step-by-step methodology to reverse engineer cosmic creation and locate the exact source of their own consciousness. The map begins at the absolute perimeter. This outermost square enclosure of the Sri Chakra is known as the Bhupura. This perimeter corresponds directly to the normal waking state. It represents the physical body and how you interact with the material world. The text anchors our most volatile earthly passions straight into this outer wall. It explicitly identifies psychological drives like lust, greed, and anger as structural forces guarding the gates. By forcing these chaotic emotions into a strict physical boundary in the mind, the practitioner strips them of their power. The passions are pinned to the perimeter, transforming them from overwhelming obstacles into manageable doorways. Moving inward past the outer square, we enter the concentric circular rings and the outer sets of triangles. Here, the map dives into the subtle body, organizing vital breaths and 72,000 energy channels beneath the skin. This converts external religious sacrifices into internal biology, replacing massive ritual fires with the body's 5 internal digestive fires. Visualizing basic biology and digestion as divine cosmic forces breaks down a major mental barrier. The illusion of a mundane, strictly physical existence dissolves. Progressing deeper into the inner triangles, the mapping becomes highly abstract. Complex psychological states are recast as symbolic tools and weapons. The text applies a poetic geometry to human perception. The 5 senses are visualized as flowery arrows, and the mind that aims them is constructed as a bow made of sugarcane. It also maps emotional polarities. The psychological force of attachment is a heavy noose, while repulsion acts as a sharp goad. There is strategic brilliance in this stage. By viewing our own flaws and aversions as objective, divine instruments, we bypass the ego's tendency to judge them, achieving clear-eyed detachment. Finally, the practitioner reaches the innermost triangle. This is the last threshold before the ultimate center of the map. A massive macro-micro synchronization occurs. 21,600 daily breaths perfectly align with cosmic time, mapped to 15 lunar phases and their corresponding eternal goddesses. That alignment pulls focus to the final destination, the Bindu. At this dimensionless central dot, a reverse Big Bang triggers. The rigid boundary between the knower and the known completely collapses into a single singularity of non-dual consciousness. The vastly expanded universe we normally look up at is pulled entirely back into the womb of creation, resulting in the ultimate dissolution of the individual self. The immediate result of holding this complete mental map is a state the text calls Jivan Mukti, liberation while living. It designates the practitioner as a fully realized Shiva yogin. While the practitioner hasn't physically moved an inch, the internal structure of their mind has undergone a systematic reconfiguration. Modern psychological research into cognitive behavioral therapy and somatic integration relies on a similar logic, using structured mental imagery to regulate emotional states and alter internal narratives. This chart shows a steep decline in stress markers like cortisol during sustained mindfulness. It illustrates how specific mental imagery directly alters physical chemistry, demonstrating the same biological impact described by the mystics. Consciousness is the ultimate property. By turning our gaze inward and mapping our internal architecture, we finally claim ownership over reality itself.